Hello, this is Raphael Freeman from Running Our Typesetting, and this is actually a very specific video on how to mark up the PDF once you get your manuscript back that's full of pictures. Now, how we specifically at Running Our Typesetting handle pictures is as follows. The rule is that we place in the very first draft, if you've placed your images incorrectly, you've marked it up correctly, which we've talked about in different videos, we insert each image at the largest size possible that will fit within the text frame, but will make sure the quality is good enough for print. So you see this page 134, this is enormous. The client probably doesn't want it this big, but that's okay. It can be this big and print that nicely. You'll notice ugly white spaces. We don't care about that right now. Here, an enormous picture. Here, this picture, it's full width, okay? Again, full width picture. This picture, you may notice, if you look at the top of the page, it doesn't quite fit the full width, okay? If we made this picture any larger, it would not be good enough quality for print. Okay, here again, this picture, this is the largest it can possibly be in order for it to print well, okay? Here, these are enormous pictures. They fit the full page. This particular picture here, as you can see, the quality of the picture is just such that's the largest that can be. Okay, so this is where you have a visual understanding of how big each picture can be, and now you can tell us what to do with the pictures. In this particular draft, all we're looking for is just marking up the pictures. And the way that we're going to do this is by using the sticky note. Now, any of you who's watched any of our videos on how to mark up a PDF will know that we really don't like this sticky note. But for pictures, it's exactly what we need to do. And for most of these pictures, there's going to be one of a few options. You might want to say, we want to make this smaller. Well, what does smaller mean? We can't just say to the computer, make smaller. We have to be a bit more specific. So I'm going to say, let's say we want this image to be 1 column wide. So we take the sticky note and we just type 1 column. All right, we've typed what we want to type. We want to get rid of this box. So we hit the escape key on our keyboard. The box disappears. And on the right, we have the correction here. I'm using an older version of Acrobat because I prefer it. It's the same in any version, even version from 15, 20 years ago. Here, this picture. Same story. We might say, you know what, we don't want it to be 1 column. We don't want it to be quite as big as this. So then you have to tell us exactly how big. So let's say we want it to be 11 centimeters wide. And that's what we have to type, 11 centimeters. And we'll make it 11 centimeters wide. So when you print it out on your laser printer, you take out your ruler and say, you know what, it doesn't need to be 15 centimeters, 11 is fine. You might decide you want these two pictures to be on the same page. So you can just make a comment saying, make this picture and next on the same page. Okay, and we'll worry about making this picture a little bit smaller and the same width as this one so they fit on the same page. Okay, these two pictures though, this one is very large and doesn't have a caption. So I'm going to guess on behalf of the client that they actually want to have both these pictures next to each other and for the caption to be for both these pictures. So the way that you simply do that is on the first picture, type the word merge and say how many images you want to be merged. Just type merge to. And that means I know that this picture and the next picture need to be merged together. And I'm going to show you shortly what happens when we do that. Here now we have a whole bunch of pictures. We actually have 6 large pictures in a row. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, on behalf of the client, assume that they want to have it 3 in a row. Merge 3. Maybe they want to have 2. I don't know. They'll let me know when they actually send me the job. Merge 3. Okay? So I'm going to merge 3. Here we've got now a whole bunch of pictures. Again, I have no idea what the client wants here. But just for fun, just so we've got something to show you and so you see what happens. Here's merge 2. So that applies to figure 12, okay, merge 2, and figure 13. And then I'm going to say figure 14, merge 2 again. Now, when I say merge 2, I mean horizontally. I don't mean one on top of the other. Okay, that means they're both going to appear on one line. actually, I'm going to guess that maybe they want to have this to be merged 3. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so just for fun, we're going to change this to be merged 3. Okay, now we might continue on, and it may be that this image is fantastic. We want exactly this, except we want that a bit smaller, so we can make that smaller. And it is important that we can put in and say, let's say here, we're going to say this could be, say, 90 millimeters or 9 centimeters, whatever's easier to type. And here we're going to do the same thing. We might also have comments about any editing that needs to be done to the image. So we might say here, remove scale, okay, at bottom. We might want an image to be cropped. So if we want an image to be cropped, we might have to use one of these markups. We might say here we draw a line, right click on the line, open a pop-up note, crop top of image, okay, and then we might click on the sticky note tool and say make this 1 column, okay, or we might just let's say have more fun. Let's merge 2, okay, after cropping it. Okay, so once we've done that, then what happens? That's all that needs to be done on the side of the client, on your side. Now what needs to happen is that I now need to go to InDesign, and I just want to show you very quickly. I'm going to do some of the corrections here, not all of them, just to show you what happens. So for example, this particular image here, I wrote in the original, just to remind you, it's over here, 1 column, okay. So I go ahead, and 1 column happens to be 77 millimeters. I go ahead, and then first thing it does, it puts it over 2 columns, but the right width. And now what I need to do is go over here and do something else in InDesign to make it go into 1 column. And so here we see 1 column. Okay. Same thing here. The next correction was make this 11 centimeters. So I'm going to write it 110. Now, there's large ugly spaces here. The first stage, we're not interested in giving instructions as to how to solve that problem. We just leave it to be looking the way it is. That's perfectly okay. The next instruction was to make both these images fit onto 1 page. So we're just going to make them a little bit narrower to see what happens. We'll just put 145. We'll both make them the same. And we'll add a bit more space over there so it looks a little bit nicer. The next one was to merge these 2 images. When we merge the images, we have a little script that does it. It's got a whole bunch of bugs in it. It doesn't always work exactly the way that we want it to, but let's hope it'll work more or less correctly during this video. And sure enough, it does. So we've now merged both these images, and we've put the caption to go on to 1 line. Okay, now we're continuing on. Here we've been asked to put these 3 images onto one line. The script probably will crash when I do this, but let's see what happens. Let's see if we can merge it without it giving an error. It gave an error. Okay, so we know what we need to do. We just need to do an extra step at the beginning for us to do that. So I'm just going to quickly do that. And then this extra step, just thought I'd save you watching me do it slowly, and we're just going to say make the next 3 images align in one go. Okay, and we do the same thing here, exactly the same. We're making them all go in 1 go. Okay, merge on the 1 thing. Now there's one little bug with the script with the captions here, so we're going to fix that. I'm going to do that offline, so just give me a moment and we'll fix that. So I'm just going to fix now the 6th of the captions. As you saw before, they were too high. So now we've got to do the next instructions, which were to merge the next 2 images. These were the images here. So I'm going to quickly merge them there. So as you can see, the instructions for putting them in, we can execute fairly quickly. Sometimes we've got a little bit of tidying up to do after running the script that we have here. So let's now go back to the PDF because I don't remember all the instructions, and and oh, here's just to merge 3. It doesn't really matter, but this is basically the concept. And if we've got any graphics we need to crop in Photoshop, then we can go ahead and do that. We're not going to do that in this video because I am making up the instructions for the client, and this is actually real work. So I don't want to actually go into Photoshop and change things. If I want to merge the next 3 images here, so firstly I have to do a little extra step here, which I did before. So I'm just going to quickly do that. But as you can see, by marking up with the sticky notes, we can get the images looking the way that we want and the size that we want neatly. What will then happen is that this particular PDF, this will be sent back to the client, to you if you're the client, will be sent back, and the next stage, see here we're going to fix the size at the top over there, make it nicer. The next stage will actually still not be fixing these extra spaces here. We're not interested in fixing those extra white space. What we're now going to be 100% focused on is the text. All the images are the right size, any frames have been added or taken away, any editing have already been done already in the first stage, and now we're going to be focusing to make sure the text is 100% correct. Once the text is 100% correct, then we're going to deal with how to giving instructions. Let's say the final stage may be after all the text, there might be sticky notes saying, keep these images at the top, or keep these images between here and here, or allow this particular text to flow over here, and that's a different process. But this is the stage that we want here. You might see, when we made this to merge, it doesn't look so great having this massive caption. Please put this image now on its own line, and that would go into the next stage. Thank you very much for watching. This has been a slightly longer video than usual. If you have any questions, please answer. If you're watching this video, the merge script is in the process of being. We're still developing it. We're adding more features to it, and this will be available as a commercial script. So if you're actually a typesetter watching this, then perhaps by the time you're watching this, this will be a commercial script, and it will be available on runanascripts.com. And so we're slowly but surely making our various tools available for sale. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Look forward to comments. We try and respond to comments as fast as possible. And if you are a client and you have more questions about this, please be in touch with us, call us, email us, and we will be very happy to help.